Today we're going to talk about a new way to play Caverna solo. Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today I want to highlight this handmade Automa for Caverna. It's called the Vandar Automa. That's just the name of your opponent. This Automa was created by David Lavoie, but he was inspired by the screwed Automa for Agricola by Bookworm. That's his BGG username. I'll put a link in the description below to this post, to the file. All you need to do is, you don't have to print out the rules, but I did. Having them close by, though, until you get to know everything, he literally covers like what the Automa is going to do at every single action space. So it's good to have around. But the big thing is these cards. So I'd have sleeved them just because there is going to be a lot of shuffling. So I recommend doing that if possible, but it was literally like a sheet and a half, 8.5, 2 sheets of printing. So what we have here is just some cards that are going to determine where the Automa is going to go. So you'll notice, and actually you can see that I have these flipped around. There we go. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to have these same starting ones here. You can, if you so choose, add in this one to make it medium difficulty, and you could even add in this one to make it hard difficulty. You'll notice that these all have the shells at the top, and so you want to make sure that those shells are what's facing upwards when you first create the deck, because you are going to be rotating them. You can see that symbol right here. But essentially on the Automa's turn, you're going to flip this over. They're going to attempt to go to logging. If the logging is not available, they'll go to wood gathering. If they are able to go to one of these two locations, they will go there, and as you discard the card, you're going to rotate it, which means the next time this card comes around, they're going to do housework. If, however, that both of these spaces are blocked off by you, then they're just going to draw another card. In this case, they would go for excavation, and then they would go for drift mining. And if that's not available, they'll, I think I need to look it up. I've been playing just looking top to bottom because excavation, in my opinion, is the better location to go to. But they've got this note here, most loaded action space, which we'll go ahead and show you that one. So this one's pretty straightforward here. Actually would start as the starting player. Once he claims starting player, you would flip this over. And then basically he's just going to go to wherever it has the most. And then he even has a tiebreaker here. So if, say, there's 6 rubies and 6 wood in one particular spot, he's going to go for the rubies. Pretty straightforward. But the whole switching, rotating of the card is very important, but helps, keep the AI Vandar spreading around. There's also this card here that you can see during stage 1. You're going to look to sustenance and supplies. This card doesn't rotate because then after 2+, you're going to look for sheep farming and then donkey farming once it becomes available in the later stages. So there are all these that you start with, and there are these 2 that you can add in to increase the difficulty if you so choose. And then there's 3 other cards that are going to sit off to the side. These will be shuffled into the deck when that card comes out. So when the blacksmithing card comes out in stage 1, and you can see it even has a spot up here for adventure, but until that one comes out, you would simply ignore it. This gets shuffled into the the draw pile, and then you're gonna. It's a little strange, and I haven't quite figured out the meaning behind it. But you're gonna, at the beginning of the round, when this blacksmithing card appears, you'll add this to the deck. Essentially, he has you shuffle this into the draw pile, then take the discard pile, flip it face down, and put the new draw pile on top. It works. It keeps you from having to reshuffle this a lot. But anyways, same thing for when stage 2 comes out. This one in particular, I have been playing personally that if it's stage 3 and family life is out, that's the one he goes to first, because that's generally the more lucrative one, but maybe maybe not. Maybe you might have a different opinion. Either way, he's going to block off that spot for you, and then or trading at stage 4. So just 3 cards to add in. One point he has in the rules is that the AI simply does not gain a child or a new dwarf when he goes to wish for children. He says that anytime you gain an extra worker, they also gain an extra worker. And so they keep pace with you throughout the game. I'm not as big of a fan of that. I actually play that when he takes the wish for children action, he gets a dwarf. I think that there's a lot of strategy involved in when you go, or if you have prepared to be able to go there first. Do you fight for starting player to go get that child first? I think there's a lot of strategy in that. So me being able to get a leg up on the AI, or them possibly beating me to the spot, does make a difference. So that's how I've been playing it. Again, this is a fan-made variant, so this is all house rules, but I'm house ruling the fan-made variant. The last thing you'll notice are the tiles. You set them up like this at the beginning of the game. That's because the only thing that the AI really cares about are things they're going to score for. So essentially, furnishings, tiles like this. The main tiles he's going to get points for no matter what, whether they're, a tile like this or a tile like this. This one, if I remember correctly, is just 2. Anything that doesn't have a marker on it, and then anything that does is worth its value. So he's going to score for these. He actually is going to collect them. Whether you choose to keep a board for the AI or not, I like to, just to keep track of everything, to keep track of his dwarfs, or you could simply stack these off to the side if space is an issue. But he's going to score for these, he's going to score for these, and he's going to score for animals and rubies. But that's it. Other than that, if it's wood, stone, or vegetables, grain, all that stuff, if he collects it, he simply puts it back into the supply. He doesn't hold on to it. But he does care about tiles. So what he has you do here is set these out in a line and only revealing one at a time. So this does change how the game is played a lot, in my opinion. And I'm still on the fence about whether I like this. Obviously, you then roll a d6, and that's how they choose what they're going to take. So it's a very fair system as far as the AI claiming a tile. But what it robs you of is your ability to look at all the options and choose something. Whereas right now, I only have one option. Like this one here, I just happened to have shuffled it up. But this is the additional dwelling. This one only is only good to you if you have, are ready for that 6th dwarf. These 2 are much better. But if this one's here, there's nothing you can do. Now, you could easily just cycle them if this one comes up. There's a lot of house rules that could go into play here. But all of that aside, this has worked pretty well. My games have been pretty tight. I have been throwing in the medium card, and that's just about right. The AI has won. I have won. The games have been close. I have not tried playing with hard yet, but I'm also not a Caverna expert by any means. But either way, I certainly prefer this method over standard solo, which to me, it just doesn't work. The beat your own score thing with very little randomness does not work. The biggest thing that this Automa does, which you can't get in standard solo mode, is that you can't just let stuff accumulate on spots and be like, okay, I'm going to wait one more round because I know that there'll be one more stone there, and I'll go get all that stone next round, and that's the exact amount of stone I need. Well, you can't do that in this game because the Automa, if they get this card right here, is going to go get that stone because maybe that's the highest accumulating space on the board. So they're removing that stuff so it can't just accumulate. They are beating you to spaces. They're blocking you off from spaces. So this does a pretty good job of simulating a human player. Way better, in my opinion, as far as playing solo is concerned, than the standard beat your own score mode. So just wanted to point that out to you guys. I honestly don't know. This has probably been around a while, and I just now found it. But again, I'll put a link in the description below, and hopefully it'll help some more people find it. Anyways, if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.